Want to see why black men find it hard to date black women with kids? Roll it.
Look, y'all. Every fucking day, my baby daddy come here with one fucking meal for my child. But I have 3 other kids. We have one kid together, but he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids McDonald's though? Like that bogus as hell. Like you're not finna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there he go, and I bet you he only got one thing in there. I bet you he don't even. I'm finna expose out of him so people can see how he really is. It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody. What's up? Because I'm finna expose you. What? Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger? One burger, one fry?
What he like? What do you mean?
Okay, what about my other kids?
What about your other kids?
Okay, but them your kids' siblings though.
What are you talking about? What are you mad
Them my kids, them your kids' siblings though.
So what you?
My other kids finna be left out.
You didn't feed them?
You know I don't give my food stamps to the 7.
Lisa, how is that my problem?
But if you're trying to help out though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to help my son.
But how are you helping your son when you're only getting food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings?
Lisa,
them are his siblings
Lisa,
though.
He
not finna eat in front of all his other siblings and they're not eating no McDonald's. Why do I gotta put?
Bring him out to the car. I'll let him
No. He's not finna eat that shit at all if you can't bring enough for everybody.
Lisa, so you telling me that I gotta bring? So when I bring my son food, I gotta bring your kids food too now?
Yes.
You sound dumb.
How is that shit dumb? You sound dumb.
Where are they daddies at? Nobody told you to talk to them other. You had them other kids. Them your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're gonna bring one, you need to bring it for all. How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's?
So
you know I get food stamps on the 11th.
3 kids that ain't mine. 3 kids that ain't mine.
Yeah, they're his siblings. You knew what you was getting into when you had a baby with me.
No, the I did.
Yes, you did.
You expect me to take care of all the kids? They're not my kids.
Okay, but you still had a baby with me who have kids with other people. I still have other kids.
Why are you recording me?
Because I'm exposing you. Everybody think you such a motherfucking good daddy.
I am a good daddy.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're full of shit in this bullshit. You only come here with one fucking piece of food for one child.
The child that's mine, silly.
No, that's dumb that you can't feed the other kids. Don't feed nobody at all then. He can't take that shit. He can't eat it.
Maybe if you had 1 or 2, I could maybe. You got it's 3 extra kids. What the f***? All like going to my motherfucking account, spending money on all those kids. Them not my kids.
Them are your kids' siblings though. Dumb.
So that's what you gonna go with? That's the one you gonna
Those are your fucking kids' siblings.
They're my so that means
yeah.
I take care of them.
So don't. No, I didn't say you have to take care of them. You can bring them something to eat if you bring one something to eat.
I bring them food every other day. What do you mean?
Exactly, but you don't never bring food for the other ones.
Lisa,
you know I get my food stamps on the 11th.
Your babies.
Okay, but I'm saying we share the same kid as well.
Absolutely. So if you want to, if you feel the way about him eating, take him in the room and let him.
I'm not taking my kid in the room.
Him down to the car. He ain't got to eat in front of his brothers and sisters. He can come right out to the car and eat with me.
No. You know what? Fine. Give it here.
Thank you.
Give it here.
Bro.
Give it here.
Kids,
Give it here.
You sound stupid.
Dumb. He ain't eating this. You.
Why would you just do that?
Because you ain't bringing up for all the other kids. You stupid. Selfish as a like you're dumb as hell. You're dumb as hell. He not finna eat that shit. Dumb.
Take care of him anyway.
Dumb. He not finna do that. If you can't do it for all, don't do it for none of them. Bye, stupid. Thought I was finna take that shit today. Yeah, I had another thing for him today. No, he can't take it today.
See, ladies, it's you that's feeding these women these narratives. It's you that's feeding these women the narrative of thinking that a man must remain there in the capacity that you expect them to remain there while you're dealing with them after it's over. This guy had 1 child by her. She has 3 other children. And when he tries to do something nice for his child regularly, consistently, this is her expectations, is that he's supposed to do for the other three. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of saying, come pick, if you're going to do this, come pick up your son or whatever the case may be, and, y'all go out to lunch or whatever the case may be. If you're going to do that, no, the expectation is I'm supposed to consider what your situation is as a whole in order for me to do what's right for my son. See, when I be saying stuff about child support and this, that, and the third, this is what I'm talking about. That could lead that man to ending up on child support. The fact that he is doing, like, a lot of people want to talk about the deadbeat dad or whatever the case may be. And there are deadbeat dads that do nothing for their children. And we get that and we understand that. And that's who the system is actually created for. That's what that system is actually created for. The abuse of the system comes in situations like this. This man comes regularly and brings his son McDonald's because his son loves McDonald's. What she did was utterly out of pocket. It was utterly disrespectful. It was utterly stupid to take that man's what that man, that's his hard earned money, no matter how much it costs, $5, $6, $7. If it's a QP, we looking at $11, whatever the case may be. To take that shit and throw it in the street because he didn't buy for the kids that you had with other people is ridiculous. And how you going to punish one son who has a father that actually does for him for the other three that you like? How does that make sense, and how can you comprehend that, or whatever the case may be? When I'm in a relationship with you, I understand that. And if I want to be nice here and there, okay. But for that to be an expectation, my only expectation is to take care of my one child. And this is how situations go wrong. And he ends up being punished for the sins of other men. Because now, this dude could end up on child support. The fact that you don't get your food stamps or whatever the case may be until such and such, this, that, and the third, whenever, that means I shouldn't do something for my kid until you get your food stamps, or I should do everything for my kid and your kids until you get your food stamps. See, one thing doesn't feed into the other. I have a responsibility to my child, and I am showing up daily, or I think he said every other day, or whatever the case may be, bringing my child what he wants and feeding him. And you don't think that's good enough. You think it's only good enough if I support your own system, but I'm not here for that. The only dealings that we have now is our child. That's it. And I don't get why that's so hard to understand. This woman actually feels like she's exposing him when she's just really exposing herself. He's not being a fucked up individual. What you did was showed how fucked up an individual you were by taking one of your child's food and throwing that shit in the streets. Just to try to make a point. Why you don't bring it for all? Those are his siblings. Well, someone else made those siblings, and when we ended our relationship or whatever, however it goes, those kids are not my responsibility. I do not have to worry about. Now, there's certain people who stay in people and it's his choice. It's his choice whether he's going to stay in your kid's life or whatever the case may be. He's not even really, you can't consider him a bad person for cutting that situation off with your kids. Because part of the thing, people don't understand, there are things that come with the relationship that can be fleeting if the relationship should end. I can't end my dealings with you with our child, but it is my choice if I want to continue doing something. And what would make you think that someone with this attitude, you would want to do something for her other children? See, a lot of times nobody factors in this side. And I have the right to say this. You know why? Because I have a daughter that I raised as mine that was there when I got there. So I can say this. And me and the mom been broke up for 4 years. And I remain. So I can say this. And I normally don't even tell anybody that. But she knows and understands the situation. But I'm her father. And I'm always going to be her father. So I have the right to be able to say something like this. This chick was wrong. And it is what it is. And far too often, the man who does that stays in the child's life. It goes underappreciated. That's one thing that people don't talk about black men when they telling us how bad of fathers we are, is the fact that one, we step into the situation most of the time and we are father figures to the children that are in there, and we will be there for those children who are in the situation. We will be there for those children during the relationship. But two, a lot of us stick around in that child's life if the relationship should end. And the fact of the matter is, today you're more likely for the relationship to end than for it to keep going on. Let's face it, relationships end because there's so much temptation around you that it's hard to get past. So that's why a lot of men are hesitant about dating women with kids because of shit like this. Show off.